Hi everyone, Win here again. I'm going to do a video covering the two big racing divisions, and also going to talk about the weather. I'm going to go kind of fast here because I don't want to make a 14-minute video for you guys. This is the Mackinac Trophy section, the smaller boats. As of last night at about 9 p.m. And I'm just going to kind of step through this. We were looking at very light winds. They're still moving. That's good news. We saw as the winds were lightening and coming out of more south or southeast, people were starting to sort of curve around to the right here towards the Michigan shore a little bit. And we see that as the night wears on, some people make a decision to jibe, so turn the boat in the other direction with the wind coming over the other side, and head along the Wisconsin shore instead. And I'll show you the weather in a second. Probably the book thinks that's what you should do by the book is go up the Wisconsin shore. So we see this fleet sort of split in half, right? So that by about 4 o'clock in the morning, we've got one group right here. We got another group right here, right? With what appear to be two different intentions. And over the last couple of hours here, while the sun's come up, sort of, I would call it, developed three different groups. So we've had one group go extremely far right, one group go extremely far left, and one group here in the middle. So let me just kind of, again, these guys look like they're committed to the Wisconsin shore. These guys in the middle are now sailing right up the Rhum line, and not, we'll look at their speeds in just a second. And then these guys look like they're headed to the Michigan shore. So, the question is, are they going to continue those strategies? And if they do, which one's going to be the right one? Again, the weather will show you in a second. The weather forecast will show you that up here is where you want to be eventually, sort of towards the Wisconsin shore. Boat speeds are okay. 5 knots, 6 knots. We take that a lot of times in Mac race sailing. That's pretty good. The pressure looks not crazy different. It looks a little lighter over here looking at these boat speeds, 3, 4 on this side of the course, and a little more even sort of on the left 2/3 of the course. Sorry the boat names keep picking up there when I circle, but hopefully that'll give you some idea. In the Cup division, which is the bigger boats. So bear with me for a second. Let me back us up. Right, this is about where we were last night at around 11 o'clock or midnight. We had WindQuest in the front, Il Mostro in second. Their speeds had dropped from around 12 knots earlier in the day to 6 or 7 knots. And I'm going to back this up just a touch more even. They had come out from Milwaukee and were starting to come across the lake again in response to lighter winds. Same kind of thing happens we saw with the smaller boats, right? We see a bunch of boats sort of choose to go right. The faster boats work to the left a little bit. You'll see that. The ones that are in front tend to be up here on the Wisconsin shore, right? And the ones that are a little farther back are either in the middle, maybe kind of stuck in the middle, honestly, or starting to work their way up the Rhum line. We have one or two out here to the right, but that's largely the situation. So keep going a little bit, and we see that split happen even more. Right now, it's really, really clear. Here's the bunch of boats that, and I'll hold WindQuest and Il Mostro out for a second, and that are on the Wisconsin shore. Here's a set of boats that are going Rhum line / Michigan shore, and they're working their way up. And you can see even the guys on the Wisconsin shore are jibing. Some of them pointed this way, that way. Let's see, draw a little arrow there towards the shore right now. They're that intent on staying in that shore. So let me just go ahead and keep forwarding. Right now, the interesting thing is we actually get a couple people who, after they've, let me back that up a couple of frames, after they've moved over here to the right, now they say, hey, I'm going to jibe and I'm going to go left. I kept the boat moving overnight. I'm right of the Rhum line. I'm going to jibe and go left because that's where I want to be. So what we've got now, again, is clearly a set of boats that said Wisconsin, right? Clearly a set of boats that said middle earlier, and now they're sort of fading off to the right of the Rhum line. Some people who got to the right of the Rhum line and have jibed back and are kind of in the middle of the course. Those are faster boats. And then we got these two guys up here who are flying right now. Let me just show you the speeds. You can see that Il Mostro just jibed over. They're doing 12.4 knots, and WindQuest is doing 13.5 knots right now. So they're really starting to get moving, and at the rate they're going, if they can keep that kind of speed up, they're going to finish in maybe 14 hours, something like that from now. So maybe around 8 or 10 o'clock tonight, if that's what the speed that they do. Okay, I'm going to take you through the weather really quick. That's a current race situation. Il Mostro and WindQuest on opposite jibes headed up the course. The current situation for weather is these are the wind observations courtesy of Chris Bedford. The only place that we see significant wind is up here in the north, sort of western part of the course of Lake Michigan, near the UP, the Mid Lake Boys at 12 knots and 11 knots here. I think that's Manistee. I'm not positive about that. I'm sure I just got that city wrong, as a matter of fact, so ignore that. No wind here in the Straits, which if you saw my update in the cruisers, you know that there's no wind in the Straits. They're going very, very, very slowly. You get this one little 9-knot wind popping out here in Sheboygan. And then the other weird thing to me is we got places where we're looking southerly, places where we're southeasterly, and we got places where we're more easterly, almost right here. See that going on? So it's kind of a light and variable wind field going on here, but one that we expect to evolve as the day progresses. And let me talk about that. This is the forecast for 7 o'clock right now, basically. The pattern that we talked about, has the highest winds up here. The forecast is really nice and consistent with that. Il Mostro and WindQuest are kind of up here where there's a little more breeze, and that makes perfect sense. I got to tell you, not a ton changes to this overall look except for wind velocity during the course of the rest of the race. So southerly winds, and we're going to see more pressure up in this area of the lake than in this area of the lake. So let me just forward through a couple here. This is by 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can see we get winds up to the almost 20-knot range over on the UP of Michigan over here. And we have, look how light the winds are here. What we've got going on is this little thermal I talked about yesterday tries to get going onshore like this. And the wind from the gradient, as you see over Lake Michigan, is kind of more from the south. And the two of them just kind of cancel each other out right here. And that ends up being a real wind killer. So hopefully one of those breezes will win, and hopefully it'll be this gradient and really drive people through to the finish. But we got to keep an eye on that as the day unfolds, where their boats could just stop once they come up to the Straits of Mackinac. Skip the surface chart. You guys see the same sort of thing this evening at 7 o'clock. The pattern continues with more wind on the Wisconsin shore. Same thing, 1 a.m. Monday morning. This gives me heartburn, right? This gives me a heartburn. Like, you can sail the race of a life and you end up like right here and you stop, and then everybody else just comes in, whoop, right behind you. And it becomes a 3-mile race from the bridge to the finish here in Mackinac. Happens more than I'd like to admit. 7 a.m. Monday. 1 p.m. Monday, it's really going. And notice now, 1 p.m. Monday, the gradient's gotten strong enough that the wind's broken through right here. And that supports what I said earlier. It's not impossible for someone to come in here at 7 o'clock even and go slowly for a long time. And then when the breeze picks, everyone sails up to them, and then the breeze picks up in here all together, and boom, they finish all together. So it's stranger things have happened. Cold front approaching. We're not going to worry about that. Here's 7 p.m. on Monday. That gradient over the Straits has relaxed a little bit. And 1 a.m. Tuesday, I really think most of the fleet is going to be wrapped up by this time, unless we have something very strange happen. But that's the situation. There's 7 a.m. Tuesday, just to continue going. Nice southerly winds, easy sailing, especially once you get going this way. Right, on sort of a reach across these winds. It's a great point of sail. Boats are going to be going fast. Should be a good time. And that's it. Hopefully that helps you understand a little bit what's going on. The choice remains the same, right? Are you going to go, and I don't have the right forecast up, here where the breeze looks stronger but sail a little more distance, right? Or even like this, like we saw some of the cruisers do. Or you're going to go here where the breeze seems a little lighter but sail less distance. And then what's going to happen once you get here? Who can make it through to the finish with breeze on? Those are the key questions to the race right now for the racers. So hope you appreciate the update. Again, please feel free to post back notes, questions, comments, anything. We'd love to hear from you on Facebook. Thanks. Bye.